Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and then I woke up to all that nonsense last night. I fell asleep, and then all that went on.
Yeah, I'm at my ends with it.
Try to run a professional platform, and then people go all crazy on it.
Yeah. Good morning. How are you? I'm gonna have to kick the audio over to the live stream. I just pulled it up. Woke up late myself, so a little bit behind today, but
The good thing is we can hold this put as late as we need to today, and I mean the theta burns the theta burn. It's not like it accumulates over during the day, you know.
yeah. One thing I like about having the Discord now, we can get straight to the people that are focused on what we're doing here versus just shooting into the dark, basically.
Yeah. I was thinking kind of like the YouTube could be like your outreach to prospective new people.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it right now, and why I still
Good
do it.
morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
All right, can't complain. I see everybody's hopping in now. Andre, good morning. Got John, Jeff,
Morning.
Justin. We have this CTIE Leo. If you want to say hello, hello to everybody. Who else we got? Just hopped in. Bear, Justin. Good morning. See, we got a few people on the live stream. Reg's there. Good morning, Reg. Don't forget we're on the Discord call as well. Just kind of letting everything pick up a little bit. First time Andre is joining us this morning. Good. How are you doing, Pat? Pat Mulligan. Thanks for joining us. See, we have Andre on the stream with us this morning, man. What trade you looking at today?
I'm getting ready to open the platform now.
Yeah, I woke up a little late myself, so getting started a little late. Check out the daily trading log and see we're at a -5 for the day. For those of us that are participating in the small account challenge, that is going to benefit us. I'm tracking the markets now so we can keep up with it. 7:30 Central Time here. For the most part, the VIX jumped 15% overnight. That's going to play into what we want. And then at least going into the morning, capturing some of the profits off of these puts we placed yesterday. Of course, we got burned on them for the first day out of the last 6. Looking at the VIX, I want to see where it's sitting at. So it actually broke
Oh
to
wow.
19. Is now rebounding back to 20. Still at 19.7, but looks like it's going to bounce. Looking at the QQQ, we identified a trend that it's been in, and we're actually going to be going into a compression zone going into the morning. So I'm really interested in seeing how it performs in reaction to that. We identified our mistake from yesterday. We should have took note that the QQQ was trading above its EMAs, and that it could bounce off of them. It was more likely to bounce to the upside than the bottom. We're currently grinding against that EMA right now, so we definitely
I ain't
watching
waiting
it.
people. Yeah, you is. Leave until long. None. Leave until long. Oh
Do what?
shit. Let me. Now I gotta mute my side. Hold up.
Yeah. So bouncing off of that EMA today, so on the 1 hour, but it is showing momentum loss on the MACD, and the RSI, and even the volume weighted MACD looks like it's kind of lowering a little bit. So I definitely want to see how those act going into today. This was the compression zone we defined on the QQQ. Trying to determine if this is going to have it's going to be more likely bounce in this compression zone or break down. And so we'll watch the market trade log that we have, our trading log, and see where we're at. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly when we're going to go into that compression zone, and it looks like it might be tomorrow. So we still have possibilities of hitting 316 within this compression zone. It can go ahead and break down at the same time, and just break out of this trend altogether. For the most part, we identified a midterm trend that it's been trading in. Let me turn this shorter term trend or channel. I want to turn that into a different color so we can identify it separately. So it's sticking true to the trend. Even though we broke out of it, it was rejected and came back down for the most part. And I think moving forward, I'm trying to see if we've tapped this 3 times already, or if our next tap is going to be that 3rd time. But this is where we hit it the first time, and then we hit it 2 more times. So it should have broke out right here, and the fact that it didn't, it had hard rejections and it came down. So I want to see how this 4th reaction is going to be going into today. Of course, we bought our puts yesterday, so we're prepared for that to happen. It looks like there's more selling volume on the 4-hour than there is on any buying volume coming into this, even though it performed the way it did yesterday. So based on what I discovered yesterday, we could be looking at closing out our puts, opening up in the market, and going ahead and capturing some calls. But if we capture calls, we're probably only going to go up to 320.35 at the most, if it's sticking true to this trend that it's trading in. And of course, our daily trading log is saying that it's more likely to come down than go up. So US market's pretty much red. I want to see why. I'll open up my Thinkorswim here in a second. Reg on YouTube while I drop my dart off. Cool. Liam, how are you doing? Good morning. Pat, I'm gonna share my Discord in the YouTube so that you can join us there. We have a voice chat and screen share as well. It's actually in real time, so you don't have the delay, and you can communicate with us on the way. So dropping that in chat now. See, we have about 4 people on the YouTube. Welcome if this is your first time here. We basically get together about 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. every morning pre-market to look at the markets, go into the day, and see how we can play with these market corrections and swings. So moving forward, though, we're at a -5, which most of you guys that have been here for a while know that's pretty heavy to the downside. And it should play into what we assume yesterday, that the markets were going to pull back. So I'm tracking that now, and we'll see how we go from here going into market open. If it starts to pick up, then it's confirming the fact that we're going to bounce off those EMAs again. But the only difference about yesterday and today is that it was actually breaking below the EMAs. Yesterday it gapped up above and bounced off. This morning it kind of gapped down, and it's been working hard to stay above it. So we could lose momentum pretty easily and continue coming to the downside. What's up, Steven? How are you doing, man? Good morning. See you on the YouTube. Steven, you're in our Discord already. You can hop in the voice chat if you're available or able to. But on the 5-minute, though, it looks like we're having some downward pressure. It picked up just a little bit a few minutes ago. I want to see, like I said, how it reacts to working off of these EMAs going into today. So for the most part, expecting a red day based on the trading log, but watching out for this bouncing again off the EMAs. So we're kind of in a gray zone. I'm not going to make any calls on what it's going to do until we see it open. if it opens, I do want to prepare for potential investment opportunities this morning, which is a little bit something different. Typically, we're planning our small group challenge, and making our calls with us looking at this now and it being in the gray area. We're going to go ahead and prepare ourselves for potential bounce. Another thing I want to point out is the U.S. 10-year actually jumped to, or fell to 165 overnight. That's going to play a part, although it looks like it's trying to swing up. So I'm going to be tracking this trend here and how it reacts to that. This is our longer term trend. And as you can see, we're kind of bouncing right off of it. Even if I were to stick it right here, for the most part, it's stayed true to it. And it's created this channel that it's trading in, or moving in rather, not really trading, I guess. Where's my clone button? If anyone has any stocks they want to review, in case the markets do pull back up and pull out of these channels they've been trading in, feel free to let me know on the YouTube. If there's any stocks you want to look at, feel free to hop on the Discord call and just chime in, let me know. I'm pulling up my system now. Like I said, I woke up late today, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. But yeah, US 10-year, I think it bottomed out right there, and I think we're going to bounce off of it, so we could see a jump to the top side. The last time it did that, we hit about 150, and then it bounced to 160 within a day, I believe. So probably going into tomorrow even, this could bounce again. DPW, you and DPW, man. I swear somebody pays him to work for DPW. We can look at it though. For the most part, I got out of DPW because it's been trading sideways. I expected a lot more out of it due to Bitcoin kind of picking up. Of course, I don't know where Bitcoin is right now. I haven't looked this morning, but we can definitely look. It is hitting a strong support level around the 355, I believe. Let me spread this out. What is this? 356. It needs to stay above 356 at support level. Then it can bounce back to those 454s. It's been riding along that support level for the most part. It's broke down a few times below it, but it hasn't made it back within that price range back to the 454s, and that's what I was looking for when I was making calls off of it. But when I saw rejections around the 406s, is when I hopped out of it. We have PSTN. Just look at it. PSTN. Is it this OTC stock? Post NL? If you can answer that question for me real quick, then we'll come back to it. We can look at GSAH while we look. Wait for that answer. This looks like a SPAC. For the most part, looks like it's dealing with the downward pressure from the overall markets ever since the beginning of March, just like the rest of most stocks, which is why we haven't really done any trade alerts here at Millennial Investments. Because of the fact that these stocks are getting pulled down as strong as they are. They're breaking through a lot of support levels. A lot of you guys that have been following us know that already. For the most part, I want to make sure that it stays. Let me do this. We'll start from scratch. Let's see, and I'll take this drawing out. We'll expand this. Let's go ahead and identify some support levels here. That being the 1088. I'm not sure if you have a position in this or not, but you want to make sure that it stays above 1088 regardless. That's a very key support level. It played resistance before. And once it was able to break through that, that's when it found support. And ever since then has found support, except with the exception of that hard pullback when Jay Powell opened his mouth and pulled the markets down. But as you can see, it was resilient and bounced back and found support again. So this 1088 is a key level, because even with the markets pulling down just a little bit over the past week or so, it stayed above that. The next level you want to watch on it, excuse me guys, my alarms. If you were to hop into this right now, if you were to touch that 1088 and get into a position, you'd want to watch for the 1269. moving forward. And then your top line resistance is around 1526. So those are the key levels you want to pay attention to, and how the stock's trading in those price ranges should determine when you make your entry. If it's on the low end of the price range, then go ahead and hop in. If you're confident in the company, excuse me, I need another cup of coffee. And then ride it to that 1269, see how it reacts to the resistance. It looks like it's been strong resistance for the most part, and it's had issues keeping support above this 1269, so it's a very key level to pay attention to. But if you find yourself breaking through that level and finding support finally, and I would confirm support like a day after, then you could potentially go to the 1524s, which will give you about 50% on the trade. Right now you're looking at about close to about 20 to 25% on the swing if you go to 1269 on it. Wanted to look at RMO, and what I'll do is I'll add these stocks to our coffee and stocks list. We're actually doing a spread tracker on our coffee and stocks list, since these are the stocks you want to look at, and we're doing a spread tracker to determine the best stocks to get into after the markets finish off this correction time period that they're going through. I'm not saying like it's anything hazardous or anything to the market, but they are pulling down slowly, and they're not rebounding as much as they should. I know the SPY is at all-time highs, but it hasn't really blew up beyond that point. So we keep seeing it tap that all-time high and come back down, and we're trying to scale how much weight it's pulling down every time. With RMO, some of you guys already know I'm a long-term holder on RMO. I love RMO. Have great expectations of the company based on what they're doing. Their market size is about 665 billion. They've only captured the US and European markets out of that, which are about 225 billion, which I think they own about 60% of already. They basically have the contracts for all Class 8 18-wheelers, or commercial sized vehicles, your long hauls, and they're already working on Class 7 conversions. So keep in mind on anything to do with EVs, about 30-35 EVs will take over, based on production and sale, will take over your standard gas emission vehicles, and it will be a 19% increase every year after that. So right now, this is basically looking at Netflix back in 2005, 2006 type, or whenever it came out. I'm just speculating and using it as an example, so don't quote me on these time frames. And then looking at it now is how I feel about these. There was a report released that they expect Tesla to go to 4,000, which is close to about 5 to 6 times its current price range. You can expect the rest of the EV space to follow, RMO being in that space. And with this being a commercial company versus and it's a battery provider too, so there's more life cycle in this type of company than there would be, say, a Tesla, due to the fact that when people buy a Tesla, that's the Tesla they own. They don't buy 5 or 6 of these. With commercial, you have entire fleets being renovated, and that's something to consider with RMO, and why I like them so much, and why I've been really doing well on keeping up with DD on them, any developments. They are about to buy out RMG at the end of the month, I believe, which will bring about, was it 2.49 million, which is about 16% of their market cap now. I'm not going to dive too deep into this. We need to stay above 1356. A bunch of us are actually practicing on the warrants that RMO provides, to see how that's beneficial in the long run. But I'm actually dumping profits in the RMO as I go, by using options on the company. Tesla pulled back, so I didn't do any options on it this week. Tesla did rebound going into today, or yesterday, excuse me, but it had issues staying above 700. You got to pay attention to that moving forward, is how Tesla is acting. It's going to weigh down on even your NEOs, your NKLAs, your Workhorse, your CCIVs, CLIIs, all of them. And just pay attention to Tesla, and you can kind of gauge this. It's like looking at the SPY now, for the EV space. But expect RMO to finally break out at some point of this downward pressure that Tesla's providing, and then head back to at least 1970. I honestly think this is a $50 to $60 stock overall. I see we got a few more people in the live stream. If you have any stocks you want to look at, feel free to chime in on the chat and let us know. I added our Discord channel, so you can join us on our actual voice chat and ask questions in real time. We've been watching ChargePoint as well. This is a charging station manufacturer for EVs. Same scenario here. Tesla's pulling down on the entire EV space overall. You got to watch how that reacts. You got to watch how that acts moving forward to determine how this is going to. But we're coming into a compression zone, and where I think it'll finally break out. And I think Tesla's going through the same compression zone as all of these other ones. And then you'll see them actually back at the price points that you saw before. A lot of people have a lot of expectations in tech, but I think it was kind of blown out of proportion with this herd mentality of running after these stocks that only go up. Anyways, if you hop in here, you want to make sure you get back above the 2662. If it stays and finds support there, you can continue running. You know that you can just let this run. So you're in a great buy opportunity. That's a good thing about Tesla bringing down the EV space, because I feel like you're in a great buying opportunity to hold long term as much as you can too. So you're not buying shares at these more expensive prices like the 34, 44s and the $40, $50 ranges. So EV space I'm real big on. And I know a lot of people are, so it's nothing special that I'm real big on it. But I am trying to gauge, when I can buy into them the cheapest. I think the market still have some corrections to do, and I think that we'll find cheaper price points in this. So I want to look at a lower support level for this too, though, because I'm assuming that all current support for most of these stocks that exist now are going to be broken. And you could potentially buy this back at $20 again. People might call me crazy, but once it happens, then we'll see. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Looks like the QQQ is bouncing off the EMA, guys, for you guys running in the puts on this on the small account challenge. So not only are we going to experience the theta burn here, we're going to actually experience some delta loss as well going into the trade. I'm so deep in it now, I'm going to hold and see how we hit that top trend line again if we find some rejections. But what I'm paying attention to now is the fact that the SPY is below the EMAs and breaking down. It did a fake out yesterday on the 1 hour. So it might tap that EMA around the 391, 392 areas, but I want to see if it finds some rejections. If we look at our daily trade log, we're still at a -5. We have picked up in the U.S. equities just a little bit. Going into the morning, NASDAQ specifically is the only one holding green right now, but everything else is red. And I think I finally, I got my TDA up now. I want to see if there's any news that came out in the markets that affect anything. Let's see. So basically, they're saying that futures higher as Wall Street shrugs off worries over renewed U.S.-China tensions. I never was really concerned about that. U.S. current account for Q4 was 188.5 billion versus, and that's negative 188.5 versus expectations of 189.9, with the prior being 178.5. I want to see what this is exactly, but let's see. All right, I love you. Let's see. I know Jay Powell's supposed to be testifying today. That's something to pay attention to. Last few days, last few times he's spoken, it's actually been beneficial for the markets. But being in a court setting, I think that's gonna reveal some ugly truths that the markets might not be ready for. Oh, I love you, baby. Have a good day, okay? So I'm really looking to see if and how that's gonna play into the markets today. But there's nothing really on the news ticker that's really standing out to me. I'm looking on the economic calendar today to see if we have anything else releasing. Let me see. Market drop, economy. Today we have new home sale. We have new home sales coming out, which we've already seen some terrible. not terrible, but worse than expected sell numbers yesterday in the realty industry. We have merchandise trade money supplies coming out today at 12. I'm not sure if that's Eastern or Central Time. Let me see. We do have a 2-year note auction at tomorrow. That's tomorrow, excuse me. Oh, no. Today's 23rd, excuse me. So we had the Red Book come out. We have new home sales at 9 a.m. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index at 9. 4-week bill announcement. 52-week bill auction. The Federal Reserve Jerome Powell speech at 11 a.m. And then 2-year note auction, which may affect the 10-year. Something to watch in your techs, by the way. If you're worried about tech rotation, watch the U.S. 10-year. And then money supply at 12, 4:45 we have merchandise trade, BOJ minutes, and equity settlements at 11 p.m. tonight. So it's a weird time to do it. But anyways, for the most part, we're in a -5. I know that U.S. Equities have picked up a little bit. Actually, I hold my guys that are working with us on the warrants. I actually still hold my my warrants. I sold my equity share for now because I feel like I'll be able to get it cheaper. I know we have Andre on the call. What are we looking at today, Andre? What trades are you looking at least? I'm not sure if you can hear me right now, but you're on mute. I see we have Krista in the call. Welcome. She's one of our newer members here. We still have John, Jeff, Justin, Carl. I'm not sure if Carl was on. I think he just stays on the Discord with us.
Yeah, I'm here. Just got in actually.
Okay, good morning, Carl. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I'm going to be able to recover my Friday gains. But I'm not sure if that's going to occur today for me. Which is fine. I'll just go back after them and get them again. Andre, are you still on the call? Doesn't look like he can hear me, or he might be AFK. So we'll look at today's.
I'm looking at some of these NFTs.
NFTs?
Yeah, some of these NFT plays that have been running like that. TKAT.
TKAT.
Tim, I'm here, but you got to give me a minute.
Yeah, you're fine.
All right.
Are you making a list of those?
There's a
List I'm
few
showing,
of them. I'm not sure which of them are actual legit and which are just hype. So
Yeah.
you never really know, you know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of hype behind all that. So yeah, I agree. Be careful. Let's see. I'm gonna see what's
Most of
moving
them-
in the markets.
Most
real
of them
quick.
that are running this morning don't have options though.
Yeah, I know. And I don't. You guys know how I feel about that. So SPRT supportcom.com, I guess. It's seen about 2.2 billion in movement. Liquidity this morning, something to watch for going into the day. It's actually up another 5% or so. Our RLX was down about 34% yesterday, and it was our second top liquidity stock. It's seeing 1.2 billion. We can look at all these too, by the way, while we're talking about them. SPRT had a great run yesterday. I think it was up like 240% at its peak. Has since it broke out in after hours some more, but has since consolidated back near the close a little bit, providing another opportunity to hop in here. But this thing is so high up there. It's
They did update the option chain for that though.
huh?
They did update the option chain for SPRT.
So they do have options on it.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that stands out to me about this though. Oh my damn alarms! Excuse me. This blew up. It looks like off of earnings alone. And what I'm looking at, what I'm concerned about is I feel like a lot of people bought this about $8-9, and I'm not sure if they're holding on to it still. But it has a lot to come back down to. the options chain is not completely full. So there's a lot of people thinking this is going to still run versus people doing any puts on it for that matter. But it looks like it's kind of settled. The dust kind of settled around the $7 range, or excuse me, 650. I would see if it can stay above that. It looks like it's ready to consolidate. It already had its continuation run, which wasn't any higher than where it started or where it landed at its peak. So I'd watch these price ranges. The 912, 650 for support. If you are going to jump into this, if you hop into it, either I would wait till 650 myself and see how it reacts before I buy into this, and then it drops out $6, or at least let's do a Fibonacci on it real quick, and we can kind of gauge what 50% would be. And
I don't know if I misread it yesterday, but when you mentioned it, I kind of looked at it, and it's almost what it seemed like to buy it, it was at 945, or to sell it was at 823. It seemed like there was a pretty wide spread on it, unless I was reading it wrong.
On the level 2
SPR2 yesterday.
Oh, was this yesterday morning during market or after hours?
It's when you first mentioned it to yesterday, I believe. I wrote it down here because and I wrote the price inside it at 940.
All the extension cords, the surge thing, I left them all up there.
Dre, I'm putting you on mute. Yeah, it seems like the spread on the level 2 is pretty much leveled out for the most part. So I think, you know, you guys know how I feel about these stocks, getting into them after we break out. Our focus is trying to find them before they do. I would honestly wait to hop into this. This can run again, and I'm not saying it won't. But I just honestly wouldn't put it. It's too risky. It's too high. It looks like 50% is actually at 562. We still haven't hit that level. We hit the 61% retracement right around the 645 and bounced off of it. But then we ran into resistance at the 78%, 762 levels. Although it did run at after hours, of course. A lot of these things that run during the day run in after hours. Keep that in mind. But I want to see how this consolidates going into the rest of the day first, and if we're going to stay above that 650 level or if we're going to keep coming down. Although we are seeing a lot of liquidity come into it, and it's actually continuing. Like if you see liquidity come into a stock like this at this rate in pre-market, that 2.2 billion, then and it's up, then you can expect it to continue to run for the day. But this is what I'm seeing right now that I would pay attention to, is this retracement right here, this trend right there, a little bit off from where I want it to be, right there. It seems like it's finding its resistance right around those areas, and I'd pay attention to that moving forward. Right now is a very key level for itself anyways. So that's what to watch. 650 and 910 if it bounces off 650. This pretty much,
That's a Bitcoin play now too.
what is SPRT?
Yeah, they announced yesterday they're merging with Greenridge Generation Holdings,
Okay,
which is a Bitcoin mining company.
got you. Have they already merged, or they're planning?
They announced the merger is
Okay.
going to happen yesterday.
Got you. Thank you for that news. Crypto plays. I'll add it to our list then. Well, that kind of changes the whole perspective then. I didn't know that myself, honestly. I wasn't doing any DD on it, but I'll definitely keep up with that. Speaking of Bitcoin and crypto, that was the only markets I didn't look at. I think we made it up to like 60,000, and we found some resistance since then around the 57K levels. If it would load for us, it's taking a long time to do that. Cancel. Let me see something. What is going on? Let's try it here. Oh yeah, I think I figured out what was going on with YouTube yesterday. So apparently there were some updates on Android devices that's causing the app to like just close out when you open it. So you might have to uninstall and reinstall it if you're still experiencing those types of issues, by the way. Bitcoin, for the most part, looks to be finding support right around these 54,112 levels. But for the most part, it looks like it's trying to form a downward channel right here that I would pay attention to moving forward. Right about there. And then you just clone this and pull it down. And you want to hit it where it meets. It looks like that's pretty safe to me. It looks like it dipped down a little bit though. There it is. That's what I'm looking at. Even though it didn't hit the bottom side of the channel, most people would be like, that's not correct, but whatever. You can see the channel that it's trading in the downward pressure. So you want to make sure that we keep support above that 52,640. That was previous support from before it even went to 60K. But that ultimately will affect your crypto plays. So, Andre, I just realized your little thumbnail was a dog with a coffee mug. Like, how fitting for coffee and stocks. Any stocks you're looking at, Andre, you want to share and put on the screen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
That is very ironic that I've had that emblem as my Discord icon for years.
Yeah. Now we're doing coffee and
Years,
stock sessions
yeah.
every morning.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even put it together. Coffee and stocks.
Yeah. Like, I'm about to go make another cup. That's why I was asking you if you had anything you wanted to share. So you can kind of take it for a second.
Right now, I'm like setting up stuff over here. Like, I'm not looking at particular stocks. The way I do my system is I get the trade count, the percentage change, and then I have my my scanner thing. So right now I can send a copy of what my scanner says.
Oh, that's up to you. I'm looking at my liquidity scanner. I think my liquidity scanner and your transactional scanner are pretty much almost parallel to each other. I'm seeing where the most money is going. You're seeing where the most transactions are going, and I kind of like that because I want to see what the differences are, and we can kind of compare those moving forward to see if which one's more beneficial to look at too at the same time.
I'm getting ready to send a copy of it. Let me chat. Hold on.
It's currently 808. I want to check them. We're still in the -5 area. Nasdaq's the only thing, of course, that is picking up. The last one we need to move today.
Brand new NFT stock running. DLPN, Dolphin.
Okay. Ugh. Somebody want to take the time to explain to everybody else what NFT is?
So you could potentially do it with songs, and that's the only real use I can think of it in the long run. Right now, I just see it as all hype, but like the NBA has Top Shot, where it's like like a trading card set, and you own a dunk somebody does or something like that, but you can still go watch the game and see the dunk.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Right.
So I don't see the long-term value in most of these things, really. But there's so much hype with it. I mean, that Logan Paul guy sold he made like $6 million in like a few 30 minutes selling
NFTs
pieces of his non-fungible token that he made of him holding a Pokemon card.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business, guys. All right, we're shutting it down.
I know, but I just don't. I don't get it. And I mean, one sold the other day for like $69 million.
That's nuts, man.
And
It really
it's
is.
similar. It's in the blockchain, so
Yeah.
there is digital record everywhere of your ownership of whatever it is, and you
Right.
get these wallets, and you can have uh, a wallet, and you can display it, so people could come look at your wallet and the display of your NFTs or whatever online.
Okay. I guess
And
with this fanatic type herd mentality going on in the world now, like it's easy for things like this to come up out of nowhere and just be amazing. You know what I mean? Like I guess to some degree or another, but
yeah,
it's just I don't know.
and I don't know. There's like online, almost like bobbleheads
Now I need to hurry
on
get a
some of
shower.
these things. There's kitty cats that you can trade, and those go for like thousands of dollars and stuff.
It's
It's just,
crazy, man.
to me, it's just insanity.
It's insanity at its best, bro. At its
But I
best.
mean, you look at most of the playing cards. I mean, the sports cards that most people had back in the day. Like when I was a kid, I'm almost 40, and
Right.
most of that, it had its peak, and now it's just junk. Nobody fucking cares about it anymore.
Yeah, watch the language. We're on YouTube.
Oh shit, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I slip every now and then myself, um, but yeah, I agree with you on that, and
Ah,
we're definitely going through these phases of things more so than ever.
it's something I was gonna.
So,
No, it just doesn't make sense.
all right, like somebody standing there with a Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you haven't heard me talk too much about them myself, is because I'm not big on hype stocks and stuff like that because they go in phases just like everything else in the world does that's hyped up and things like that. So,
No, I'm
you
just
know,
looking at them for like quick day trades in and out.
yeah, and
Take
I'm not
advantage
against
of some of
that.
the momentum and then
Yeah,
just be done with it. I don't want to hold any of this long term.
right, and I'm not against that at all. You know, if people are making money, make money, but and it's high reward, but that means it's higher risk. I sent the update out yesterday of why we weren't, and I'm still comfortable on why we're not right now. I want to see what pops up. I think AMCR was on there yesterday when we were. I think I told you guys to look at it, pay attention to it. We're seeing a lot of sell volume on it today, though, so I don't know. LAC is another EV play. Of course, that's going to follow Tesla. Do we have any? Tesla is still idling about 677. Can't hold above 695. It's basically been trading between 650 and 695 for the most part about 2 weeks now, give or take. And it just, I expected this to prop up and take off about a week and a half ago, and it's not trading like Tesla to me right now, and it's weird. What's going on? And I don't know if reality is finally set. By the way, we're bouncing off that bottom EMA on the 4-hour point. The market's picking back up, and we could have placed some calls and all that. But like I said, I'm just watching today. We have about excuse me. We have about 15 minutes before the market opens. I'll be watching the QQQ for the most part. If you're still on the YouTube live stream, yeah, it's insane, but very entertaining. You are right, Pat. If you could, guys, people on the live stream, just do a quick shout out. Let me know who's there. And if you could, show your support for the channel itself by just sharing on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you feel. That's all I ask. Just to show your support and get the kind of justified now that I know now that it was merging with the Bitcoin play. And these Bitcoin plays are really running. I know Riot bounced up, I think, to like the 60s last week, I want to say. And it's almost like if you're looking at the QQQ compared to the NASDAQ or the NQ Mini, it's like it's right where Bitcoin is. If you look at it that way, it's like the Mini for Bitcoin. As Bitcoin hits 60,000, Riot's hitting $60. Bitcoin sitting at 55,000, Riot's at $55. So definitely something you can hold long term and capture some everyone on the Discord call. You already know we're going into market together, so I'll be right back. see what we got here. Yo, Andre, are you on mute? All right, back to markets. Let me see what they're doing. It's 8:19. Got about 10 minutes before market opens. Let's see. Where is it at? I had a watch list. I have so many watch lists. It's crazy. But I built a watch list just for markets, and I can't. Is it active watch list? Yeah, there it is. Oh man, we made it 319.60. I really need this to come down. So for you guys that have been following, you guys know that down about 1,000 on these QQQs, but pretty much only wiped out Friday's gains, so I can come back in the game and snatch these pretty easily. I'm not really stressing about it, but I know some of you followed us into that and took some losses going into yesterday. We had a green week for the most part last week. I want to make sure that we end this week green as well, and every day moving forward. So making better takes. And I think that should be something everybody does. Just because you're making a lot of money today, you still should take time to understand, did you optimize and how much money you can make, and or did you push your patience and get impatient and hop out of something too soon? I know I'm short about $1,600 that I should have made last week, if not more than that. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I'm trying to go through last week's performance and compare it to my transactions and see what did I miss, basically. So or where could I have held longer for that matter. All right, so it looks like we're going green for the day, guys. I know that sucks to hear for you guys that have puts on the QQQ. The VIX is still up 4%, but it's not above 20. Since this morning, it's came down about 0.75%, which is not a lot. U.S. equities, though, is up about 0.13% overall. SPY is still red. NASDAQ is up about 0.25%. So it's not much jump. And once again, we're watching to see how we react to this this channel that we've been trading in. It seems like I'm with you on the QQQ burn, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Yep. Jin Yuki, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We have Sean Hess in here as well. Welcome. Good morning. I'm not sure if Liam is still here. I'm not sure if Pat's still here. But it kind of showed YouTube's been doing some weird, like, my follower account will, like, be up, and then it'll just zero out, and then all of a sudden there's still people here. So, like, if you're still on the YouTube live stream at any point in the day, and I'm like, all right, well, it looks like nobody's here, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, be sure to let me know, so I don't kick you out.
I'm not too worried about the puts right now. I mean, Powell's not the only one to talk. There's a few people testifying before him. I think it starts at like 10 Eastern time.
10 Eastern, so it's right at 9.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm more so interested in getting rid of them by the end of the day, because I'm losing, like, I think my data burn is like, it went from like 250 to 200, which was a lot more acceptable. For the most part, my delta is gonna burn me a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm down like a little over 4 off 3 different calls right now.
Yeah, and I have 8, so my theta is 292 going into today versus 200, and my delta is 232. So you can see how they kind of flipped on me. But like I said, I'm not too concerned about it, because I can make all of it back by tomorrow. just you know, and I'm open. How can I put this? Term channel that we're trading in, by the way, downward channel. We're gonna gap down from it. Definitely
Like to get out of
same for the. That's like it picks up every dollar you go down, so the delta actually picks up with it. There's some funds off of this. See, if you want to send, Krista is a new member, premium member. Welcome, all of you. Feel free to say hello to the gang if you want to. I need to add some permissions to some of you guys. Small account challenge. Well, they're not in small account challenge, so it's you know, up. Especially if I think that it's still going in that same direction. Then I can just let it run. So I'm letting free money run from that point on. You see what I'm saying? And I'm basically securing my initial risk. So I went from 340 down to 234 now. For the most part, it looks like the 10 minutes pulling down on us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the longer time frames there. Actually, this needs to be a 4 hour. And then I'll do smaller time frames here. Man, does Dolphin have some put options on it? 'Cause that thing just dropped like $5. Yeah, I'm trying to build a scanner right now that basically scans the market for. What's up?
I'm pretty sure that's just everybody that's been holding Dolphin before they knew it was
Yeah,
doing
snatching
NFT
the
deal.
profits.
They woke up this morning, market's open, they're up 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd sell it too.
I think they're up like 300%. If I was looking at that right.
Oh, I haven't been watching it.
Yeah. All right. Trying to get this set up for us real quick. Let me see. I need to market open. For the most part, we kind of picked up. The VIX came down about half a point from what I just saw. From yesterday, we're pretty much going red though. And we're back below 3.
I was wondering if that was going to go positive.
Yeah, that was what I was about to tell Jeff a minute ago. Another signal is if our overall score went to positive on us. Is probably another exit strategy for me to watch myself. But look at the drop off.
I finally went positive.
It was at 1, right?
I am positive now.
Or was at -1 and then it went to +1.
Yesterday?
-5 to -3.
2 on the QQQ.
Got you. So you're almost like